Religion, Freud writes, is the obsessional neurosis of humanity, and the Jews for Freud, who in this regard were worst of all, act out their own dramas of neurosis through ever more strict observance, falling prey, a reader of Freud writes, to a collective obsessional neurosis, namely Judaism itself. For Freud, obsessive observance and the avoidance of pleasure are symptoms of the superego gone crazy, the Jewish way to punish the self, and in the process avoid its deepest needs. After Freud, the anthropologist Joseph Campbell cataloged the mythologies and rituals of world cultures, celebrating the ones he admired, like the Hindu Upanishads. In the process, Campbell made famous the phrase, "follow your bliss." In Campbell's cultures of preference, notably not including the Jews, following your bliss is not a call to pursue physical pleasures, but to pursue the demands of what the psychoanalyst Winnicott calls the true self, the authentic self, creative and individual. So there is a question made possible by Freud and Campbell: can you be Jewish and follow your bliss? A day for the denial of the needs of the self, a midwinter fast on the 10th day of the Hebrew month Tevet, gives an unexpected opening to Jewish pleasures. Most fast days commemorate events that led up to the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. The 10th of Tevet marks the beginning of the siege of Jerusalem by the Persian king Nebuchadnezzar. But the date also marks the event for which Jews once fasted, not one day, but 3. The translation into Greek of the 5 books of Moses, at the command of King Ptolemy. The 70 members of the Jewish Sanhedrin were forced to translate the Torah, producing the translation of the 70, the Greek Septuagint. So fasting in January after the Festival of Lights is not a fast over a Greek Torah scroll, but over what Ptolemy did to that translation, taking the Torah out of the house of study and putting it in the gymnasia, his version of the university library. Ptolemy gave the Torah the Hellenist version of a Library of Congress call number, and in so doing gave it the same status as other books in the Greek library. Study the Bible in the university library, Ptolemy says, but do not learn it in the house of study. Ptolemy began the process of turning the Jews into the people of the book, not a native Jewish principle, making the Torah external. The fast after Hanukkah marks the time when Jews became enlightened outsiders to their own tradition, unemotional, objective observers, distant and disengaged. I am no stranger to either the house of study or to the library, but the study of Torah involves not mastery, but a readiness to be addressed, to enter a relationship. Learning with a chavruta, a study partner, attentive to him as well as the Torah, entails a willingness to give up mastery and place oneself at risk. You talking to me stands as a response of someone in relationship who knows he is being addressed and who may be asked to change. Torah asserts relationship. Ptolemy attempted to undo that relationship, seeking to turn Torah into something neutral and abstract. Offering a Jewish hierarchy of the senses, a 13th century sage finds not seeing but hearing to be the most important of the senses. The light of the eyes makes the heart rejoice, writes King Solomon in Proverbs, but a good report fattens the bones. Hearing, he writes, is of greater importance than seeing because it makes the heart beating alive, rejoice. Hearing gets to the core of a person, even the bones. Sight may quicken the already beating heart, but hearing penetrates and livens our insides. Indeed, in the translation of the Torah into Aramaic, the word for hearing is rendered as Kabbalah, meaning receiving, or better, internalization. So the centrality of hearing in our prayers, Shema Yisrael, Hear O Israel. Torah is not based upon distance and neutrality, but rather upon being connected, not only with the mind, but the heart and bones. The sages advise Aseh lecha rav, make for yourself a teacher, not only advice to find someone to answer questions about how to make your oven kosher or to observe the Sabbath, but an injunction to cultivate relationship. The sages do not say, find a teacher, look up someone in the phone book, but the more active, make for yourself. Make the effort to connect to a tradition that began on Mount Sinai. With each of the divine utterances that began the relationship on Sinai, the sages say, the souls of the people of Israel left them, only to be revived each time by an angel. That the relationship includes death, the souls escaping them, shows that the people of Israel placed themselves at risk, so that with each divine utterance their souls transformed. Neuroscientists have shown that from one second to another, the brain not only changes, but is different from its former state. Mount Sinai was a scene not of what neuroscientists call neuroplasticity, but rather neshama plasticity, soul plasticity, showing the capacity of the soul to change, to die and become anew through the demands of connection and relationship. Learning Torah may mean finding parts of the self we do not know and finding ways of connecting which we have not yet discovered.